Hey guys, Aaron Pynn has been posting to my mind some really interesting things, and I thought I'd respond to some of what he had to say the other day about collectors and collecting. And I've been collecting things since I was probably 6, and I've collected things as widespread as comic books, baseball cards. What else did I collect when I was figures at one point? Mainly Marvel, uh, Captain America and Iron Man and Thor and Spider Man especially and all that kind of stuff. So it was kind of an offshoot of the comic collecting that I did. Um, then I've also collected books at one point. I had a pretty good extensive collection of leather bound and other books that I thought was pretty cool, and I still do. But as far as movies are concerned, and maybe had I been collecting comics or CDs was another thing I collected. Had I been collecting comics um, and had a YouTube, I might have even had more than I had, and I had quite a bit. And I think partly it's in my textual response to Aaron that I said I think part of it is YouTube and having a community where you can basically be kind of held up or supported in a way that says, hey, I do the same thing you do. I collect too. Here's what I've got. Look what I have. Do you like it? Because I like what you've got, and I'm hoping you like what I have. And there's something to be said for that. I happen to like the Criterion Collection, but not everything in the Criterion Collection. Uh, I like uh, I like a lot of the Japanese things, and I like a lot of the Italian things. I like some of the French things. I've learned that, um, for instance, I'm a big Kurosawa fan. I like a lot of what Kurosawa does. I like High and Low as much as anything that he's done, though. So it's not just about samurais for me. I just like the epicness of what Kurosawa does, and yet he still has I think Akuru is still one of his better movies, and yet that's got nothing to do with samurai. So if I had to rank my 3 favorite Kurosawa movies, it would be Akira, High and Low, and Seven Samurai. And I'm not sure in what order that would be. Seven Samurai might be first, but depending on what day. Uh, and there's other people who like, J. Mal Jesus is a huge, I think he's got like every Criterion ever made. Uh, and I don't aspire to that. I don't aspire to have a completeness when it comes to the Criterion Collection. Thank God, or I'd probably go broke. There are some things I really like, and there are some things that I kind of have to check out first on Criterion, and I certainly do. I spend a lot of time. My wife can tell you, agonizing over my purchases. I don't go in and just buy a bunch of stuff and say, "Cool, I've got 10 things." Barnes and Noble's got it 50% off, or let me just go buy a bunch of stuff. In fact, this coming Barnes and Noble sale, I'm hard pressed to know what I want to get, if anything. And I say that because although I like La Dolce Vita, I want to see the extras that are on there first. I already know the booklet's going to be skimpier than I thought it should be. So I'm probably going to get La Dolce Vita because it's such a classic film, and I know the Criterion folks will do it right as far as the film quality and everything else. So I'll probably get that one. The other one I'm thinking about getting is Jacques Tati, because I'm a big fan of, kind of the Mr. Bean or Charlie Chaplin or that kind of film. So I'm thinking I'm going to like that too. But I might want to. I did Google, actually. I Googled it and then I found it on YouTube. Some scenes of Jacques Tati, and I really thought it was pretty funny and pretty clever. So I'm probably going to like that. I might get that. You get the 50% off, plus I think you can get an extra amount off with a Black Friday coupon. So I might do that. Those are the 2 things. But in addition to Criterion, I'm a huge superhero fan. And this goes back to my comic book collecting. I said I had baseball cards, but I had Marvel. In fact, I still have Marvel cards. And one of these days, maybe I'll show off some of the Marvel notebooks I have filled with Marvel cards, which I think are still pretty cool. And I had Batman cards. In fact, the recent unboxing of the Batman, by the way, the Batman set is almost, did we put a black light on that yet? I don't know if anybody's put a black light on that Batman set, but I've got just a soft light you can see behind me, LED lights from behind my TV set, and that thing is like glowing. So I don't know if it. I think it might be something a black light will affect. So we put a black light on that and tell me what you think. I'm not sure about that. Anyway, and the Bruce Lee set I have is doing almost the same thing. It's kind of cool. I'm going to show off the movie room here in a little bit. I've pretty much got it ready to go. I'm pretty happy with it. Black drapes behind me. Big old chair. I'm a pretty big guy, and I've got tons of room in this chair. My wife and I can both sit in this, and we may do that one night. Watch a movie. So back to the collecting topic. I'm going to ramble a little bit. Inspired by Aaron, who does ramble from time to time, but in a good way. And hold on a second. Speaking of Aaron, he almost never gets through a video without a little sip of something. And it's just ice water. But on my list of favorite drinks, it's probably number one. So huge fan of comic books. Now, one thing Aaron said in his video was he was a fan of slasher movies. I can't stand slasher movies. The only movies that I like, and I don't get what even people like about slasher movies, but you know what? I'm okay with that. I don't have to like them to appreciate that somebody else does. I like some samurai movies, but I don't like every samurai movie I've ever seen. I happen to like the Bruce Lee movies that I got. Thank you, Leroy Green, for that trade. Bruce Lee movies are awesome. But I don't expect everybody to like them. I've got the Stanley Kubrick box set, and some people have Stanley Kubrick as like the number 1 or number 2 director of all times. Not so much me. I like some of what he does. I won't watch Clockwork Orange again. I'll be surprised if I ever watch that again. I've seen it once. I don't think I'll watch it again. I may watch it just to see if I really if I'm that turned off by it. Effective, no doubt, but just too much, in my opinion. I like horror, but in fact, I loved horror when I was a kid. But I think the horror movies of the last 30 years are dreadful, in my opinion. Maybe 40 years. I'm not a big fan of... I love The Walking Dead, but I'm not a big fan of zombie movies per se. Night of the Living Dead, okay. I'm all right with it. It's not a big movie that I like. And then a whole series of, George Romero stuff. Not a big fan of it. Not a big fan of slasher movies. I didn't care for Saw at all. I'm not sure that's a slasher movie. I don't, the formula of a bunch of teenagers go off the path, get into the woods. There's a commercial that mocks it, which I think is actually hilarious, where the kids are like, where should we go? Let's get in the car. No. Let's go hide behind those chainsaws. Okay. And even the killer's just shaking his head like, what? And then they run from there and say, I know, let's run into the graveyard. Let's hide there. That's sort of what most of these slasher movies end up devolving into. Bunch of teenagers make a bunch of stupid decisions and get killed. Even the ones where they don't make stupid decisions and still get killed, they always separate, or almost always separate. Just don't really care for them. Now I do have some movies that I like. Scary Movie because it's a mock of those, and I've always been. I'm a fan of anything that's satirical, and so that's a good thing. I have the Scream movies. I picked them up like for $9 for like all the movies, and I'm going to watch those eventually. I guess those are slasher movies. I don't know. But not a fan of, and here's sacrilege for you, for you horror fans, and I'm sorry. Not a fan of Freddy. Not a fan of Jason. I do like Michael. I do like the Halloween movies. I don't know why. Maybe because they were first, or they seemed to be first. I thought the first Halloween was brilliant. I thought the second one was also good. And after that, nah, I don't care for them. I really like a really good Halloween and Halloween 2. Is there one out there? Blu-ray, like a deluxe edition of the two, just those two. I don't want the whole bunch of them. I'm interested to see how it turns out. I know eventually they kill him, then he comes back. But those are the only two I really like out of that. But I like TV shows, but not just any TV show, because if I can still watch it on television, I'm less likely to have it unless I really like it, like Arrow. I've got the first 2 seasons, but I didn't just run out and buy it. I waited till I got it for a really good price, and I used coupons and ended up getting it for, I don't know, one for like $9 and one for $15, and they had the ultraviolet copies with them. So, and I love that. So I can watch them on my iPad, or for that matter, I guess on an iPhone or whatever. I don't own an iPhone, but if I did. Big fan of The Sopranos. I'm not going to get the Blu-ray though when it comes out. I've already got the first season on Blu-ray and the 6th season on Blu-ray, both parts, and the other ones I'm fine as it is. So I'm not, I'm not one of these people that has to have like the Blu-ray. I think the DVD quality of The Sopranos was fine. I'm good with it. Same thing with, I have the DVD version of Battlestar Galactica. Okay with that too. Not looking to upgrade to a Blu-ray. But I do like that. I think I've got some quirky stuff like the Wild Wild West, which when I was a kid it was on. Of course, the Batman, we talked about the Batman. I do want to do a little bit of a special on the Batman. I may do that. And I like Game of Thrones. All the stuff that I collect are things that I like, that I say to myself, would I watch that again? Do I want the extras that are there? Big factor. How much do I like it? And is it something, like I said, I want to watch it in 10 years when it may or may not be on television in a rerun, or may not be on Netflix. Do I want to watch it when I want to watch it? Sure, that's my criteria. But then I have a lot of stuff that's on the shelf that I have not gotten around to watching on Blu-ray. I've watched it, just not on Blu-ray. So I bought it because I liked the movie. I saw it in the theater. I had the DVD at one point and maybe traded it in on a trade and save. Traded the DVD, got $5 off of like a $9.99 Blu-ray, and got it for $5. So I figured I upgraded for $5. I haven't watched a lot of those because I've seen them before. I'm more interested in seeing things I haven't seen before, which makes me think, I wonder if, part of the collecting thing is owning something because I want to own it, because I like it, but how much will I get to watch it? My wife says, you'll never watch everything you've got. You've got way too many. And she makes a good point. I have not even seen all the Criterions that I own. I have seen most of them, but not all of them. I have yet to watch the entire Zatoichi set, but that's a lot of watching. And with television and kids and work, it's difficult. Tonight, I have a great opportunity to watch them, and I'm going to watch something in a little bit. But I also have an opportunity to make a YouTube video or watch some YouTube videos. And I'm telling you what, I like watching YouTube videos oftentimes as much as I like watching movies. So that's interesting, to say the least. I guess that's what I have to say on collecting. I've rambled a little bit, but I think collecting is a personal thing. I do agree with Aaron in some things. I think you have to collect what you like, and you should collect what you like, and I think you should have a passion for what it is. Find out what you like, and then get that passion and collect. Don't just try to buy everything on the planet. Now, that said, I think steelbooks are pretty cool sometimes. And I also think these Diamond Lux things are really cool. So I have double dipped on a couple of those just because I think that it's so collectible. I just really like it. And once in a while, that's okay too. All right, guys, I'm going to end this one for now. Thanks for listening to me ramble, and I'll talk to you again soon. Take care.